Have you seen The Imitation Game?
No. I know what it's about.
In The Imitation Game, they have voiceovers, and one of the lines in it is that, as they have their little montage, them solving equations, is Alan Turing saying, people talk about the war, and they talk about the Blitz and the bombs coming in and the houses blowing up and this, that, and the other. The war wasn't like that for us, because Bletchley Park, it was in the middle of nowhere. There was no London to get blitzed. It was no city. It was out in the country. He's like, the war wasn't like that for us. The war was a bunch of 10 people sat in a room with pieces of paper in front of us solving equations. And we did that for 5 years. So all these other people have these big dramatic stories about wartime for them, and it was completely different for us. And Richard Feynman said exactly the same thing. We were in Manhattan Project, we were trying to split the atom. That was the goal, to split the atom, because the atomic bomb existed in theory. They had to figure it out and put it into practice. And he said we spent the majority of the war doing our equations, and we got so focused on this end goal that everything else went out the window. We got up every day dead excited, we sat down, we did our equations, we did our maths, and we did that for years on end. And then the guy that originally had brought him in, because he'd said, oh, by the way, this is the thing, do you want to come in and see if you can do it? And Richard Feynman at the beginning was like, I'm not sure I want any part of this. And then his friend had to persuade him, look, it's going to help us win the war, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, but in the future, we don't know what the atomic bomb is going to be used for, right? Anyway, he manages to persuade him, goes in, a couple of years later, they succeed. They do the test in the American desert. They blow the bomb up, and everyone's so excited because they spent years obsessively focused on this one thing. And it was the guy that brought him in was the only person not cheering. Richard Feynman turns to him and was like, is everything okay? And he just looks at him and goes, it's a terrible thing we've created here.